Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is Wednesday, the 25th of August. And as is always a custom on the Just Joe Football Show, on a Wednesday morning, I bring you the opposition preview. This week, we first Burnley on Sunday, around about 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock, the game kicks off. I will be doing a watch-along for that game on this channel. It's nice to be able to do a watch-along. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do one for the Carabao Cup game because the Carabao or the EFL or whoever's decision it was to not stream them anywhere in the world is just insane, and it's been really frustrating. I didn't go to the game and I don't even know how it unfolded. I'm doing this video prior to that, but I can't really do a post-match because I didn't see it in the flesh. You know what I mean? It's a little bit frustrating. Premier League now, we should be able to watch games, man. We're not in League One and League Two. You know what I mean? We're not down there. What's going on? Crazy decisions. But anyway, this is, of course, the opposition preview. I was lucky enough to chat with Simon Townley from the Turfcast, a really top bloke and hairdresser to the stars, as it were. He does the hair of a lot of the Burnley players, so he's able to give us that inside scoop on players like Charlie Taylor and Chris Wood, you know, ex-Leeds boys and that. But listen, that's enough from me. As always, smash a like on this video, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm going to pass you straight over to Simon, and he can fill us in on everything Burnley.
And this is the moment when I take a stand.
Hi everyone, my name is Simon Townley. I am a Burnley fan, so yeah, my job to answer a few questions for you, on how I think the game will go against you guys at Leeds. So far this season's been it's kind of frustrating because obviously if you look at the results, it would seem that Burnley are in poor form, and the Brighton game, starting from the beginning, don't quite know how we lost that one. We got complete control of that game in the first half. Then two identical goals at quickfire. It seemed coming down our left-hand side. Just seemed to fire into the back of the net, and it was game over when we lost the game against Brighton. Liverpool, very similar. We was in the game. We played against a very good side, Liverpool, who, to be fair, we matched for majority of the game, I'd say 60 minutes. All of a sudden, Liverpool took it up a gear, and that was just a good Liverpool performance, I'd say, more than a poor Burnley one. So yeah, no points on the board so far, but I wouldn't take that too serious anyway, let's put it that way. I'm excited to see how we perform against Leeds. So am I happy with any of the business done so far in the football club? Well, breaking news, obviously this is going out just before the game, so hopefully it's all signed, sealed, delivered by then. But we've just had a bid accepted of 15 million from Maxwell Cornet from Leon, I believe it is. Apparently his agent's over here right now doing the business. So hopefully by the time this goes out, if that signing does come to fruition, don't think it'll be in time for the game against you guys, but it could give us exactly what we're looking for, because we know that Burnley work hard, and people know that, and that we are a grafted side. We defend well, but we are seriously lacking pace. So yeah, so unfortunately right now we've added to our defence, which is good. We've got another defender in, but he's a reserve for Tarkowski and me, and we've lost one in Ben Gibson who's gone the other way, so it's not really adding to the squad in my opinion. However, if we get this signing over the line in Maxwell, then I'd be delighted with that. It could add that pace and give us a bit more excitement for what we as fans really like, let's be honest with you. It's all good working hard, but we want a bit of flair as well in the team. So for this season, I'm still kind of optimistic. I mean, last season we started poorly. I can't even remember how many games it was now, but I think we lost the first 6 games, and we still did well. There was a lot of injuries to put into that perspective. But again, we played Liverpool. I don't know how we got beat against Brighton. So another big test against Leeds. We know that it's not going to be an easy game. None of them are in the Premier League. But this season, I still think the 11 that we have got is the core 11 that we've had previously. I still think they're good enough, and they're better than some of the teams around us. For example, Norwich look like they're going to struggle this season. I believe that our 11, if we add to it especially, is definitely good enough to keep us up this season. Do I see us finishing in the top half? Possibly not at the minute. It's that'd be very optimistic. Asked me that beginning of the season, I'd have said yeah, absolutely. But unfortunately, going on momentum currently, I'm not right sure. So when we play you guys, I mean, you guys know what to expect. We've got one of the longest serving managers in the football leagues. I don't even know what position he is anymore, but you know exactly what you're going to get. You don't need me to tell you. We are going to play it around from the back, put it down the channels, get your old boy Chris Wood chasing it down, and then we're going to build up it from there. We're going to build from set pieces. We're going to make it physical. You guys like to press, so I'm excited to see how it goes. Danger man for me, Dwight McNeil. He's looking alright at the minute. Chris Wood scoring goals, did really well in the Olympics. Finished the season last season on fire. Hoping that starts to sort of creep back in now to the Premier League. So yeah, he's definitely the danger man. There's no doubts about that. Assists coming from, I mean, in midfield, I think Ashley Westwood's out at the minute. So we've got Brownhill, who I believe is linked with Leeds. So that'll be exciting to see how well he performs. Let's see if he does it on the pitch. Playing in a centre midfield role. Previously in last season he played more of a right midfielder. He's naturally a centre midfielder, but we've got 2 or 3 good centre midfielders, so it's a bit of a mixture at the minute. So it's good to see him getting a chance in midfield instead of the right hand side. Let's see how he does. Predictions for the game. I will take a 1-0 win now, but keeping you guys out, keeping it a clean sheet will be very difficult, even for the likes of Tarkowski and Nick Pope, Charlie Taylor, Lord and me at the back. So I take a 1-0 win. If we are going to win, I think though it's going to have to be a 2-1, because I can't see us keeping a clean sheet at the minute, if I'm being honest with myself.
Again, big thanks there to Simon Townley from the Turfcast, top bloke, and thank you for taking your time, mate, to give us some insight. I know you're a busy dude, having to do it in his hotel, do you know what I mean, dedicated to the cause. But yeah, it's quite interesting to hear from Simon. Obviously, Burnley after their first points of the season, both teams after their first win of the season. I think it's huge for Leeds United if we can get a win and look back at the first 3 games and say, all right, okay, 4 points is a decent return. Having played Manchester United away, Burnley away, and home to Everton, it's a decent enough return in the Premier League. You know, we know how difficult it is. A little bit more worried for Burnley, you know, for them to go in with no points on the board into the international break would be worrying. But then it's interesting to hear Simon say as well, I wasn't aware of this fact, obviously. I would have been at the time, you know, because all the conversation last season, having Burnley not won a game for 6 games initially last season, it had been all the talk. But you can understand why Burnley fans wouldn't be worried, because knowing, you know, the manager they've got and how over a 38-game season he just keeps them up season after season. So I was looking at Burnley thinking, wow, if they didn't win, you know, they're going to be in trouble. But then again, they lost 6 on the bounce, or didn't win a game for 6 games last season, and still finished, you know, well up there. So yeah, it's going to be a tough test though, isn't it? Interesting hearing him saying that Maxwell Cornet is going to be signing for Burnley. Quite the change in scenery, I will say that. But yeah, we were linked to Maxwell Cornet. I'm sort of glad he's not going to be signed, sealed, delivered and ready to play for the weekend, because he'd have a point to prove, because we heard from his agent that Leeds were speaking to him ahead of the move for Junior Firpo, and then when we signed Junior Firpo, we no longer went for Maxwell Cornet, and he would have a point to prove, to say, look what you missed, kind of thing. No disrespect to Simon, I think he would have chose Leeds if given the option, you know. So, you know, it's a good job he's not playing. One player I am concerned about is, of course, Dwight McNeil. I think he's a fantastic player. He caused us problems last time out. He had that to and fro with Alioski, if you remember. And, of course, the physical, you know, I guess the physical skill set that they bring, it's always going to be tough. We have to be wary of set pieces, you know. We know we're not the best. Although I know this season we've been much better. I know we're only a couple of games in and we were better towards the back end. But if you compare us with other teams in the division when it comes to set pieces, we're still not the best. So, of course, Burnley can cause us problems there. He mentioned Josh Brownhill as well. And apparently Leeds had made inquiries about Josh Brownhill, whether or not that was used to try and push O'Brien deal at Huddersfield. I'm not sure. Maybe we will go back in for Josh Brownhill. I think Leeds United's business is done personally. But again, Brownhill could have a point to prove. It's going to be a tough test, but it's one that I expect Leeds United to come through. I'm going for a 2-0 Leeds United win. I think we keep a clean sheet, hopefully, anyway. And like I say, for us to go into the international break with having 4 points from the first 3, more than happy with that. If we lost at Burnley, only 1 point, then of course the international break is going to be a long 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever it is, and there's going to be more clamorings for getting players in the door, and there'll be a little bit of unrest there. So I think it's quite important actually that Leeds United get over the line and win this game. I think it is. So hopefully they'll do that, and I think they will. So I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say Leeds United 2, Burnley 0. Big shout out, Simon, again. I've put the links to the Turfcast in the description. Please do check them out. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace out now. Leeds.